Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. What I would like to do today is essentially talk about this game, Crow Country, that I started yesterday. My thoughts on it, the overall thoughts of those who were there live, the overall thoughts of those who are now watching it on demand, my ideas for moving forward with future playthroughs here on the channel, particularly indie games and things, on the mini PC and stuff like that. Don't have much anything in the realm of like game news or anything like that today, but that's because the game news is about to happen. Like, we're literally about to have two giant events, one on Friday, one on Sunday, that are both going to have like tons of game news. So that's probably why it's the calm before the storm, right? But hey, before we get to that, Blanka is back. Today on the late stream, it is the return of Blanka in Street Fighter 6. It is the first time I'm actually using him since the balance patch hit 2 weeks ago. Haven't had an opportunity to use him yet, so now we're going to try him out and see how he plays. Likely pretty much the same. Blanka has very few changes besides his drive rush headbutt is a little worse, but at the same time, his medium punch Blanka ball apparently combos better. Outside of that, they didn't really change much about the character, so essentially Blanka's about the same. Difference being now, with my new setup, I should not have any input delay. And with that, being able to actually react to things, playing as arguably my best character in Street Fighter 6, I'm very excited to see how it goes tonight. So that's why I brought back the epic Blanka shirt. We already had the Blanka pop figure and Blanka here on the cover of Street Fighter 2 for the SNES as part of the decorations for the month. And I said, why not bust out the awesome shirt made by a fan back in 2009. That's right. That's how old this shirt is. 2009. A fan liked my gameplay with Blanka and Street Fighter 4 on YouTube and made me this shirt. Sent it to me, and I've been wearing it ever since, on and off. It's pretty damned awesome. So, excited for that. I hope you'll join me tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, for the Blanka Madness here on DSP Gaming. All right. So, let's begin at the beginning. Let's talk about yesterday, how my day went overall. I'd like to talk about Crow Country, Hades 2, and the night that ensued afterward, which actually did not go nearly as smoothly as I had hoped. In fact, it was quite the opposite. And I was like, oh, man, well, it was very stressful. Let's just put it that way, okay? So, yesterday was Indies Day, meaning I was playing indie games all day long. For your request, because remember, I had been playing Multiverses, and after 2 sessions, the feedback I was getting was, we don't like the game, it's too slow-paced, the online connections are kind of wonky, and it's not fun to watch because of that, and the game's kind of unfinished. Even though it's supposed to be full release, it feels like it's unfinished. Perhaps go back to it later, but we don't want to watch it right now. And that was disappointing to me because, I liked Multiverses, I was getting into it, I was getting better at it, and I wanted to continue playing it, and people said, no, don't do that. So I listened to your feedback. I said, okay, instead of that, we'll do something different. And I asked you, like, what would you like to see for now? Because we have a gap in the schedule leading up into the new releases of this month, which start on the 18th and 21st. Those are the 2 big days for new releases this month. And we talked about it, and people were like, try out this game called Crow Country. This is an indie game that essentially is designed to play and look like an old school PS1 survival horror game. So think the early days of Resident Evil 1, Silent Hill, that kind of deal, right? And when they mean PS1, I mean the graphics are blocky, like a PS1 game. It's purposely designed to look that way, okay? What I can tell you is, though, it doesn't really play so much like that. Although the puzzles and exploration are similar and the atmosphere is similar, the gameplay elements are modernized. You've got full 60 frames per second. You've got a completely 360 spinning camera, so no fixed camera angles here, and that's a welcome thing because those games back in the day were literally difficult because of that. Like, if you couldn't see what was going on, you could easily get cheated out by a quick-moving enemy or something, right? The music, very eerie and creepy and kind of throwback. So far, in those regards, Crow Country is actually great. The combat, free aiming, which you couldn't do back then either. A lot of it was based on lock-on or just guess. In this case, it's a free aiming, laser-sighted gun that you can use to shoot enemies. And overall, if you liked classic survival horror from back in the day, all right, you're absolutely going to like this game. I mean, it's meant as an homage to those style of games. but enough quality of life improvements to make it feel more like a modern game. However, it does have that very, very not, I don't want to say it's outdated, but it's a very retro style of gameplay, meaning you must save at save points and you only resume from save points. There is no checkpoints. There is no auto save reloads. It's just if you died, you go back to where you last saved. So you better be saving frequently and whenever you can, or else you're gonna lose progress in this game. You see? So anyway, 3 hours I played it, right? Full stream. And I will say this, I was digging it. I really liked it. You arrive at this theme park, and it's a haunted theme park. You're in the main area. That's kind of like the hub to all these different areas. In one direction, you've got supposed to be like haunted house, graveyard, that kind of deal. In another direction, there's an undersea kingdom. There's an unfinished cosmic world that was under construction, but they never actually completed it. And so I'm really having a good time, with the game so far, what it has to offer. As you play it, it continues to get more and more spooky. There's more enemies, more creepy dialogue, and or more of this weird atmosphere of what the hell is going on. What are these monsters? What happened here at this theme park? Right from the get-go, much like Silent Hill games, it's a mystery. Like, you don't even know what's going on. Who really is your character that you're controlling? Why are they really here? At first, she claims to be law enforcement, but then later on in the game, an actual cop shows up, and he doesn't know her. And it's like, if you were law enforcement, wouldn't the cop who shows up know who you are? It doesn't seem to make sense. So there is definitely this ongoing mystery going on in the game. So after 3 hours, I'll just say this. I really like the game. Admittedly, the one thing that maybe is a little bit not so tense is that it's not as hard as it looks at first. Like, at first, some of the enemies are very slow moving. You shoot them. It takes like 6 shots to kill them. Even if you're shooting them in the head, like, ooh, this is going to be tense. And there's like scarce ammo and stuff. And so there's these like boxes and things in the environment, and there's no melee attack in this game. So in order to even open a box for a chance there's an item inside, you have to shoot it and waste ammo. Like, oh man, now it's like ammo consumption. But I can tell you this, after about 2 hours in, I found a ton of ammo, and the funny part is, I have ammo for 2 other weapons I don't even have yet. I have ammo for a shotgun and a magnum, and I don't have those yet, so I can't do anything with them. I can't, I just like a ton of ammo sitting in my inventory. I'm like, where are these guns? I don't have them yet. So I don't know if maybe I sequence broke, and I did things in a different order than what was intended for you to do, because maybe you were supposed to get the shotgun first. I don't know. But I'm 3 hours in, and I only have just a handgun. You know what I mean? But that being said, also, I haven't been threatened. Like, no enemies have killed me yet. The one time that I died in the game was actually a cheap instant death. It was a trap that if you did the wrong choice, it insta-killed you. And that was the one death that I had. Outside of that, everything was fine. Like, I didn't have any problems with anything yet. And that's, survival horror, usually you die a bunch. So I would say it's on the easier side. There is a harder setting, and I didn't want to play it on the harder setting on the first run because I didn't know much about the game. So overall, if you like games from that mid to late 90s horror era, all right, and you want that retro vibe, you're going to love this game. Modern gamers may not get it. And I hate to say it, yeah, that's the vibe that I got when I was playing the game yesterday. Half the audience that was here watching was like, oh, this is cool. It's a total throwback to those old games. We're never going to get an old style Resident Evil or Silent Hill again. So it's cool to have a game that's trying to be like that, right? But half the audience was like, oh, I don't get it. It's not scary because the graphics. And, oh, you're not dying constantly, so how is this horror, right? Like, that's the attitude people had. I'm like, well, you don't understand. Survival horror is about the atmosphere. It's about the creepiness and the suspenseful building of the story and an ongoing mystery. It's about a variety of monsters that come out and shock you at different times in the story. It's about feeling lost and confused as you don't know how you can get into certain doors and things like that. Puzzles, all that. It's not just, oh, there's monsters trying to kill me and you die a lot. That's not what survival horror is supposed to be. But a lot of people, I think, that's what they think it is. I mean, you take a look at the last 10, 15 years of survival horror, and a lot of games have taught you, all survival horror is escape the monster that's constantly chasing you and can insta-kill you, right? That's what survival horror has been. They've changed the genre around so much that now people are, like, programmed to think that's what it should be. So if it's the old style, they don't get it, right? So basically, I'm playing it. I'm like, I love it, but the audience is torn half and half, I would say, okay? It was weird, and here's why I say that. People were, like, really excited for it, and we're actually doing super chats and all kinds of stuff. And then about when I started playing the game, nothing. No support. It just froze. Now, luckily, we had actually had a bunch of super chats before I started playing the game. But to give some perspective, we didn't even hit the tier 1 tips goal, not even close. So I don't know what happened. It's like, oh, indie game. Oh, can't like or support that. It's indie game. Indie games are like, they give you a rash, right? Oh, I saw an indie game, and all of a sudden I got poison ivy going up my arm. I started scratching profusely over my body. Oh, indies, I can't take that. Oh, it's like, what? Indie games are some of the best games out right now because AAA games are failing. AAA games are coming out and they're flopping left and right, or they're completely underwhelming, or people talk about them for a week and then forget about them. You get so many AAA games this year that have been not that good, and the indie games are actually doing really well, taking up the reins this year. Take a look at the most popular games so far, and most of them have been indie games. So why are we allergic to them exactly? Because it looks a little different, right? And that's what I think it is. Like, some people think it looks slightly, it looks outdated. It doesn't play outdated. The story isn't outdated. It's actually interesting. Why, so what is your criticism? Because you can't take how it looks? I mean, I just don't understand that. That's like saying Super Mario Brothers sucks because it's 8-bit. Because it looks pixely. I don't like the blocks. Oh, okay. Anyway, what I can tell you is that after the stream ended, I told everyone, listen, I'm disappointed that half the audience isn't liking it, but I'm going to keep playing it. I bought the game. It's only like a 9 to 10 hour game. I'm going to beat it in another 2 to 3 streams. I'm definitely going to keep playing it. I'm not dropping the game now out of the rotation or anything, especially because I really liked the first 3 hours, okay? So, it's going to continue this weekend. Now, what I will tell you is this. Once the video is uploaded and went live on the channel, I got some really nice comments from people watching. Things such as, wow, this game really is a throwback. It reminds me of the old days, and I'm happy you're playing it because usually this is something you wouldn't play, and you're actually playing it pretty much alongside of it being a new release. It came out less than a month ago. This might give the game some exposure. This is nice of you to do it and to give us this kind of fresh variety. It's not just the same old stuff right now on your channel, and that's a good thing. So there was a good amount of people who were leaving good comments like that on the video. Wow. Well, that's nice to know that some people are actually liking it. It feels like a breath of fresh air. That's cool. I certainly hope those people will continue to tune in and watch because, this is a playthrough that I'm going to play in its entirety, and I don't want to feel like, once again, I'm playing a game for myself. I'm supposed to be playing for an audience, right? So, I was pleased. I was pleased with the after-the-fact positive comments that were on the videos, and thank you for that. Please keep them coming. If you like the playthrough, please share that with me in the comments so I know that you're at least liking it after the fact, okay? I do understand not everyone can be here live. On average, on a day, what do I have? 300 viewers, maybe 400 if it's a more popular game. But on demand, I always get between anywhere from 300 to up to 1,000 or more viewers on every video of a playthrough. And of course, way more on like a part 1. I know there's way more of you out there that watch after the fact that can't be here live. And I appreciate you guys watching this stuff, okay? All right, so anyway, Crow Country continues this weekend, actually on Saturday. We'll talk about that in a minute. I actually really like it. Feels exactly like what I was thinking it would be, with some modernized things, which I really like. So, good stuff, thumbs up, all right? Now, last night we played Hades 2, and I'd already announced that this is going to be the last Hades 2 stream for a while. Reason being, number one, the people who are huge fans of Hades told me not to keep playing it, because they were of the impression that because this is early access, it's not done yet, that I shouldn't be playing it now. They're not going to watch it now. They're also not playing it now. They want to finish, or they want to wait for the game to be finished before they're willing to either play or watch someone else's playthrough. So apparently I made a big mistake playing this game early. Weird part is, people nominated and voted for it for my Indies Marathon last weekend, which is the reason I bought it to begin with. I wouldn't have bought it early access if people didn't say, hey, play it for the marathon. So I did what I was told. We played it during the marathon and people liked it. And now people are saying, don't play it. That I do not understand. That really confuses me. That's a lot of mixed signals right there. Okay? Oh, excuse me. So, outside of that, the other reason that we're putting it on hiatus right now, quite frankly, is that viewership when I play it is poor. I mean, I can barely retain 200 viewers. Now, last night we had more, but it was because we had a group of trolls. A group of trolls came in realizing that people weren't attending Hades 2 and started trolling the stream. So it was inflated to like 270 or something like that, but that's not real. It was probably under 200 legit, okay? And on top of that, Hades 2 are some of the deadest streams for interaction, support, and even getting views after the fact. Like, for example, once again, just to give you some perspective on what I'm talking about, because a lot of people maybe don't get what I'm trying to say here. Hades 2, the stream was over 12 hours ago, right? As of right now, one of the Hades 2 videos has a whopping 151 views. Do you understand my point? 151 views. No one's watching this playthrough. So it sucks because I really like the game. As I said, I really liked Hades 1. I actually really like Hades 2. I think Hades 2 might even be better than Hades 1. And I'm enjoying myself. And actually last night was the best run I've done in the game so far. I started using these umbral torches or whatever they're called, umbral flame. And I was having a great time. I actually had my absolute best run in the game, where playing it more like a shoot 'em up, meaning like avoiding enemy attacks and range projectiles and just shooting things from a distance with powered up projectiles of my own. That's pretty awesome. Like, I was having a great time with this build. And in fact, at the end of the night, I had to leave pretty much, not early, but I had to leave exactly on time yesterday because I still had to film a private react video, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. So I had to film a private react, so I had to go on time. So we're in the middle of the run. It's the best run I've ever done. I basically aced the first boss. The first boss touched me once. I was like, oh, wow, it's acing. Second boss, only the second time I ever killed the second boss. And again, I didn't die, so I still have double revives available and everything. And then we're out of time, and I'm like, man, this is the night. If I didn't have to do this react video, I totally would have stayed later. And I absolutely, positively would have kept going with that run and got to the third level and seen if I could beat the third boss, because we did get to the third boss once and it kicked my ass. You know, it would have been amazing, but I couldn't do it. I was out of time. So it's funny because it's the end of the stream. And the people who are here, who enjoy the game, are really disappointed. They're like, dude, you're really not going to play this again? And I'm like, guys, take a look at the views. Take a look at, support. I mean, one person, once again, did a huge tip. Very nice of them. One person did a small tip, and there were 2 super chats all night. So, again, I didn't hit any goals yesterday. I literally did not hit any goals or come close. And the entire day of playing indie games, it was one of the slowest days I've had in ages, because I played indie games all day. And it's like, wow, that really sucks, Disappointing, right? I mean, I'm liking the variety. I'm liking the fun. I'm glad that I have a mini PC to play this stuff on. I'm glad that I'm branching out per your suggestions, but it's not working out. The people who watch my channel and show up and support, sadly, don't like indies, at least for the most part. There are a small group that do show up and support some of these indies, but it's not enough. I have to have streams people are going to show up to. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was had a great time playing the games, had a great time chilling with those who like indie games yesterday, but overall, yeah, disappointing that for some reason people don't like them on my channel. Yeah, I will tell you, this is kind of a direct comparison and reference to a time many years ago. It was the summertime, all right? Over 10 years ago. It was the summer of 2013. I called it the summer of retro. During that summer, because I was doing direct capture for the very first time, I decided I wanted to play a bunch of retro games from my childhood here on the channel, live streamed in a big clump over the summer. So I played games such as Super Mario World, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Earthbound, was it Chrono Trigger? It might have been Chrono Trigger. I think it was Chrono Trigger, and maybe 1 or 2 others. So it was probably like a block of like 5 to 7 retro games. And the way that I pushed it was, these are games from my youth. If you like me today as Modern Phil, watch these, and these are going to be heartfelt playthroughs where you're going to see emotion come through. I know a lot about these games. These are very different from the other playthroughs I do that are cold playthroughs, but these are games I've played before, right? So you're going to see a different side of me. Loving these games, giving you actual insight and information about the games because I knew all about them, right? And for the most part, I absolutely loved the summer. I had a ton of fun. Views plummeted. Tons of dislikes on the videos. Overwhelming feedback. Why did you do this? What a disaster. How dare you play all these old games? And I was like, huh? It was like the complete opposite reaction of what I had expected was going to happen that summer. I thought people were going to be excited to see a different side of me really loving old retro games from my youth. Things that had meaning for me, right? No, it was the complete polar opposite reaction. It was like, last year, you played all the GTA games in the summer. You give us the best summer ever of you raging at old games, and we loved it. This summer, you're playing all these retro pixelated fucking pieces of shit. We don't want to see these garbage games. Play GTA again. Play, Street Fighter again. Play this, play that. Like, basically, people were, like, being really, really demanding and entitled. And it actually made me feel awful. Because I was like, wow, I thought I had planned an event that people were absolutely going to love. And instead, it hit me the opposite way. Like, people actually hated it and were so upset with me, right? So, no exaggeration, that summer, the reaction I got that summer kind of formulated in my head what kind of content I needed to put out. I needed to always be on top of the big new releases, cover those, some fighting games. Of course, when the Dark Souls stuff started to come out, people wanted to see me do all the Soulsborne stuff. So I kind of formulated my strategy of content. I was going to be variety, but it was definitely going to focus in on a certain kind of games. And therefore, the retro games, the indie games, any of those games of that older style, I was never really going to focus on because people just didn't seem to like them. Now, over time, I ended up playing versions of Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the Silent Hills, and those seem to work. And the reason I would say that I think that they work is because those are totally classics that people kind of cherish and like to this day. And let's be honest, they're kind of difficult as well. So you knew whenever you were going to see me play one of those games, there was going to be an element of survival, struggle, rage, but also retro, but it was different. It was like a different era, right? But I kind of knew from that summer of retro, yeah, stay away from these older style or indie style games that kind of play or look like older style games. And then over the last few years, I say over the last 5 years, since I became an interactive streamer, since now we talk more and we hang out, it's more of a hangout session than, a hardcore gaming session where I must get through a game, right? It's more like, let's relax and enjoy games together. Since we have this social aspect and we talk a lot now, the feedback that I get from you guys is, you really should do more variety. Why do you ignore all the indies? You seem to always make an effort to play every AAA game. Well, not every AAA game is going to be great. For example, earlier this year, people were very upset with me that I did a full playthrough of Like a Dragon. While some people loved it, some people were actually upset with me that I did a 140-hour playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 because it was all that was on the channel for a while, right? A lot of people were upset that I bought games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Dragon's Dogma 2 while I already had just been playing other insanely lengthy RPGs. People were like, it's too much of the same thing. Even though these were high-profile AAA games, people didn't want them. They were oversaturated with these kind of games that we want variety, we want something different. So I started doing that. I played Helldivers 2. I brought back Street Fighter 6. We brought back action and rage again. Doing my second run of Elden Ring and then Another Crab's Treasure. All that stuff worked. And by the way, you notice a game I just mentioned, Another Crab's Treasure. And a lot of people are like, I don't get it. Why did Another Crab's Treasure work? Isn't that an indie game? Oh, it is, but it's a Soulsborne. It's a difficult game with a lot of deaths involved, some rage and struggle. That's what people seem to want with me, right? That's what they're enjoying. There is an audience for the chiller games, which, take a look at Fallout 4. It's probably one of the most chill games possible right now. But at the same time, right, they want struggle, and that's why Another Crab's Treasure worked, okay? But basically, I've been asked for the last 5 years, hey, could you play a bigger variety? Could you stop just focusing on the AAA and actually give some attention to games that are not necessarily in that direct line of sight? You know what I'm saying? That linear path of the big games. Can you play stuff from outside of there, right? And I'm like, sure. And when I got that mini PC last year, that was the idea for the mini PC. It's like, now I'm going to have access to a whole bunch of games that are PC only that usually don't get ported to consoles until way down the line if they ever do. I'll have a variety of stuff to draw upon. We'll start doing better, or not better, but different things, bigger variety on the streams, right? And for me, okay, I'll be honest, I've been enjoying it. Like, these games that we just tried out, I liked every one of them. Pizza Tower is a game that I probably would play for myself, but I wouldn't stream. But the other 3 games, Hades 2, Noita, and Stardew Valley all seem like respectable games in their own rights that, fit in a gap of something in gaming that people like and something that people would probably enjoy seeing me play, I would think. But maybe not. Because here I am with Hades 2, and the overall feedback, no, this is bad. We're not going to watch it. What are you doing? Wow, really? Hades 2, this outstanding game, huh? And again, with Crow Country. People who outright say things like, wow, this game looks old, I don't like it. And it's like, eh? Like, what are you talking about? So, here's the funny part, because I'm going to address this. Stubert in chat said, the same reason people would rather see you play ranked compared to casual in Street Fighter. It's more fun for viewers if there's some sort of stakes or struggle. So basically what you're saying is people are stupid. I mean, that's literally what you just said. You said people want to see you play ranked versus casual in Street Fighter. There's no stakes. The rankings mean nothing. You don't win anything for having a better rank in Street Fighter. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's completely a pointless fucking number. When I play casual, I actually get the same matchups, if not better variety, than if I play ranked. Have you noticed that? Most of the matches are actually master ranked. If not, they're diamond. And that's a good way to get better variety in opponents, as opposed to if you play ranked, you might get the same people 10 times in a row. I've seen that in ranked. We keep playing the same people endlessly because it's the same level of points, and you get stuck with those fucking people, right? And I've already explained it, but people don't listen. The reason people want ranked is because they think I'm going to lose a lot. So you're an asshole. Just admit it then. You're an asshole. You're not here to see me actually have fun with the game, get better and win. You think I'm going to lose a lot, and you want to see me lose. You want to see me suffer. You're a scumbag, right? You're a sociopath. You like to see someone fail. There's a difference between, oh, I want to watch someone persevere versus I purposely just want to see you fail. And that's what it is when you're telling me, all I want is ranked because I can't wait to see him lose a bunch of fucking ranking points. You're an asshole. Get it? I don't care about you. I really don't. I'm not here to appease people who want to see me fucking suffer. That's why I'm not like a content creator. Oh, if you send me a bunch of money, I'll do something disgusting on stream, like snort hot sauce and shit. No, I'm not a moron. Right? That's not what we're here for. I've literally already explained to you a million times how the ranked is not better than casual. And you want to know the funniest part? On the nights when I do ranked, people actually come by and say, oh, I'm not going to watch this because it's not ranked, and then they leave. And then people are like, what? He's playing ranked. What are they talking about? People are just that dumb. They can't even tell the difference. They're just brainwashed to think I'm not doing what they want, and they leave. So fuck you. I don't care about that. So if you're only here to see me suffer, you're an asshole. Yes, I will say that again. If you're only here to see me suffer, you are an asshole, and I don't care about you. I could not give two fucks about you. Will I play Street Fighter in ranked eventually? Yes, I will. When I'm good and ready. When I've played with each character, I kind of feel like I'm better with the lack of input delay. I know the balance changes. I'll go back and I'll jump in there. But for you to try to push me into something, you're an asshole. Right? So same thing here, when we're talking about these different kinds of games and things, I find it appalling that there's people who will be like, oh, well, he's not absolutely suffering at every moment he's playing this game. He's having a good time. Oh, by the way, the game looks outdated. Oh, this game's terrible. I don't want to see it anymore. Right? No, fuck you. What are you talking about? Like, that's insane. What I need to do is I need to get an audience back who's going to be more open-minded about games and is here for positivity and not just for toxicity. And I know that they're out there. I do. I know that those people are out there. It's just that sadly this year, those people drifted away. Why? Because there's no good games. Let's be honest. There are no good fucking games in 2024. Name on one hand, name me 5 great high-profile games that have come out this year. Because I bet you can't fucking do it. I can't even do it. I really can't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't name 5. I could maybe squeeze out 2. That's it. This game has been insanely underwhelming. Okay? And that's a fault of a lot of things. The games industry as a whole, game developers and or producers and production companies that want greedy profits rather than are concerned about putting out good games. In some ways, it's our fault. We're spending money on the wrong things. We're doing microtransactions in live service games. We're sitting there doing Ultimate Team spending and fucking sinking money into GTA Online and Fortnite. And all this does is it creates bad behavior in the game industry. People will keep making crap as long as you keep supporting it. And they will stop making the meaningful experiences that we know and love because they're not as profitable. And that's what's happened in the last few years. You know what I'm saying? So, all that being said, what's the future of indies here on DSP Gaming? I don't know. It's a tough call. It's an absolute tough call. Because at this point, I really don't know what's going to happen if anyone's ever going to show up and watch them. I'm enjoying them. And here's the other thing, too, because I'm just going to completely fucking blow this discredited nonsense out of here. Oh, it's you, Phil. It's your commentary. I do exact same gameplay and commentary on a Resident Evil, on a Silent Hill, on any other survival horror game, as I did in Crow Country yesterday. I was just as engaged. I was liking it just as much. It's not me. The key factor difference is the game, not me. So enough with the bullshit. What it is these biases that people have against certain games that they then won't give them a time of day. If you like classic Resident Evil and Silent Hill, there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't like watching me play Crow Country, except you're biased and you can't put up with a pixelated game. It's that simple. You know, it's not that, oh, so I was playing the game and Phil just was completely not paying attention. He was on his phone the whole time over here, and then he was yelling at someone in chat, and then he went and took a shit for an hour. He was completely disengaged, and you could tell he didn't really like the game. He wasn't paying attention. No, it was the opposite. I loved it. So what the fuck are you talking about? Right? So, yeah. No, I'm not going to put up with that nonsense either. Okay? I'm just not. All right? I'm not going to listen to that shit. That's just bullshit. At this point, I don't know what to do about these indies. Like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so what can we do? Well, what we can do is just play them less, right? If I'm going to play an indie game, maybe I only have one in the rotation at a time. Maybe that's the best course of action. If I just have one, so that way, if that ends up being the dead stream and the dead playthrough, the least watched, attended, and supported that I do in a week, then maybe I can at least balance it with other things that are going to end up doing better, right? At least I think that would make sense. Okay. At least in that way, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm playing 2 or 3 of these and everyone's complaining. Like yesterday was all indies all day and ended up being a pretty crappy day overall when you look at it. Gameplay wise, it wasn't. But the fact that people won't show up, I don't know what to say, right? So, I don't know. Is that the answer? Cut back and only do one indie game at a time? Now, how do I choose what indie game to play? Do I have an indie game that I play from start to finish, or do I alternate? Like, for example, right now we just took Hades 2 out of the rotation, right? And I'm going to take it out. That's what people want me to do. It's a shame, but it is what it is. So now this weekend, I'm thinking, hey, I probably want to do a night stream on Saturday of an indie game. And the choices are Noita or, Stardew Valley. Completely different experiences. Noita, where it's kind of like this, try to do the entire game in one shot kind of a deal, kind of like a roguelike, but it's very difficult, kind of like Dark Souls. Not that style of gameplay, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, it's a challenging game. Or you can take a look at a game like Stardew Valley. It's the complete opposite. It's just a late-night chill experience. And some people have been pushing for Stardew Valley recently. Like, they're like, we really want it. You know, you've never really given it attention. It's a game that a lot of people seem to enjoy. So I'm thinking about, like, okay, should I play one of those this weekend, right? On Saturday night. Now, let's say I play it. Does that mean that I keep that in the rotation as a game? Or do I play it once, and then do I alternate that with the other one, right? Like, maybe this Saturday night, I play Stardew Valley, but then this coming week on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, I play Noita, right? Because they're indie games, is that okay? Or are people going to complain I'm not playing enough of it? Because usually when I play a game, I play it 2-3 times a week. Is it going to be like, oh, that's just not enough in a week and we're going to lose interest, right? I really don't know how to approach it at this point. I don't. I'm confused. As for Pro Country, I'm going to keep playing it. There's no reason to stop. It's a short game regardless. I like it. So regardless if I'm going to tell you right now, I'm putting my foot down. If I'm sitting here playing it by my fucking self, I'm still going to play it. All right? That's a game that I like. I want to keep playing right now. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm going to continue it in the rotation no matter what. So if you like Crow Country, please, by all means, come by to the streams. Watch it on demand. But continue to leave the positive comments on the videos because I really appreciate that. And, you know, it is what it is if people show up or not, I guess. But I'm going to play it. Okay? Now, so, by the way, Alex says, let's remember the comment that started this rant. There's no rant. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, we like seeing stakes in what you're playing. There's no stakes in anything I'm playing ever. There is no stakes in any game that I am playing ever. I'm not in a competition with anyone. I'm not in a fucking tournament. There's no prize at the end if I win, if I do well, or if I do poorly. What are you talking about? What you're saying is nonsensical. You're living in a fantasy world. What the fuck are you speaking of? Nothing you just said makes sense. There are no stakes in any game I have ever played on this channel. Ever. Where are you? What reality are you in? Imagined rank points are still stakes. No, they are not. They're imagined. They mean nothing. Nothing means anything. What are you talking about? I'm not a pro player training in a league, wearing their fucking jersey, sweating it out, traveling the country, playing against everyone, big prize pool, big fucking competition. Look at my sponsorships all over my body, bro. Oh, I gotta do my sponsored streams, gotta appear in a million videos, go to Evo, fucking play on the big stage. Oh my God, I want that. What are you talking about? I'm a small time streamer here on YouTube, just hanging out with an audience. There's no fucking stakes. You have to unbrainwash yourself. Really. Unfucking brainwash yourself from the nonsense. What you're saying makes no fucking sense at all. Zero. Oh my God. Oh. That's hilarious. Oh man. Man, I just don't know anymore. I don't. This is why we don't want to watch you play indie games because there's no stakes. All right, let's get back on track, shall we? So, overall, yesterday, I had a great time with the gameplay. I did. Crow Country is great. Hades 2 is great. Sadly, the audience is not taking to these indie games. I don't know why, and I can't make you. I literally cannot make people like indie games. There's nothing I can do about it. I do my same kind of commentary. It works on some games. It doesn't work on others, right? So I can't affect that. I can't, I'm not going to blame myself. I'm not, what can I do? I'm not going to sit here and freak out. I'm going to say, well, let's continue on then, right? I hope that everything makes sense. I'm sorry to those who love indie games. I love them too. I would love to play a lot more of them, but it seems like it's just not working. For whatever reason, the audience is not engaging with the indie games. So I'm only going to be doing Crow Country, and I'm going to be doing maybe every once in a while a night stream of an indie game. Whether it's the same game over and over or we alternate between them, we'll do it. It sucks because, I got a mini PC. I was planning on playing a lot more indie games on it, and now it's kind of like, I guess not, right? I mean, what can I do? So anyway, that's what's going on. All right, fair enough. Did we cover all the topics nicely here, in depth enough, I hope? What we'll do is we'll do some shout outs, and then we'll open up the Q&A and see what you guys want to talk about this morning. Okay? But I'm going to say it one more time. There's no stakes in anything that I play. I'm a guy sitting here in his office playing video games for a live audience. I'm not in a tournament. I'm not in a competition for money or placement or even bragging rights. Even if right now I went online and I went on a tear beating every good player there is in Street Fighter. If I beat Justin Wong and Daigo the Beast and Takedo and Nephew and keep going, all the Itazan and Snake Eyes and fucking Big Bird, and if I beat every one of them back to back, people would still make an excuse and say none of it matters. It's just bullshit. So I don't care. There's no stakes to anything I play. Now listen, does it make sense? Is it more enjoyable perhaps when I'm playing a game like Elden Ring, where it's a super difficult game, and to see me take on challenging stuff for the very first time and kind of struggle through it and then overcome and rage or whatever? Yeah, it is entertaining. It's entertaining for me too, but there's no stakes. That's just insane to say that. Like, what are you talking about? There are zero stakes. Zero. I got 5 characters to master in Street Fighter 6. Personally, for me, that's an accomplishment, because for many years, I didn't play competitive fighting games. And a lot of people said I was washed up and I was never going to be decent ever again. And now here I am getting characters to master rank with winning win-loss records. Oh, by the way, with insane input lag, which we finally just eliminated, right? That's a personal accomplishment for me. If I didn't do it, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. If I master every character, it still doesn't matter. What does that change? Is anyone ever going to be like, wow, Phil's a well-respected Street Fighter player? No. Is anyone ever going to say, wow, Phil's amazing, he's one of these really top, entertaining, high skill level Soulsborne players? No. None of that ever matters. Never. What are you talking about? I gave up on that shit ages ago. No one cares. Everyone on the internet just wants to fucking make jokes and make fun of you and turn you into a lolcow meme and fucking laugh and deride you. No matter what you do, it's not good enough. No matter how you perform, you're still a piece of dog shit, right? So why the fuck would I care? I gave up caring a long time ago. I really did. The reason that I get impassioned when I play a game like Street Fighter and I get angry when I lose is because I lost to bullshit. I'm playing and I did the fucking move and it doesn't come out and I'm going to lose because of that shit? Fuck that. No, if I'm going to lose, I lost because you outplayed me. I lost because you knew better than me and you beat me. You were more educated than me. You had better hand-eye coordination. You had mix-ups. You got me, right? Good. I agree. But I get angry because the game's not fucking working. That's why I get angry at Street Fighter. Not because, oh, I absolutely should be a dominant player with all the points and I should be the highest ranked dude. I don't give a fuck. I haven't cared for a very long time ago. For a very long time now. You know what I'm saying? And TJ says, well, I guess what matters to the viewer, it makes, I guess it matters to the viewer and it makes it entertaining. But you're getting entertainment out of something that doesn't exist. Do you understand? You're fooling yourself into this weird parallel dimension of people care if Phil wins or loses. Nobody does. All people want to do is make fun of me anyway. So why the fuck do I care? Right? I don't. That's the truth. It's like, at one point I did, ages ago when I started on YouTube. I was going into YouTube being known as an established Street Fighter player. I went in, people, oh, darksydephil, people know who that is, right? Now I become the running meme of the internet as the fucking loser guy who sucks at everything. So why the hell do I care if I do well or suck at a game? There's no stakes. There's zero stakes. How do people not understand reality in 2024? I don't get it. I don't. I just don't. I don't get it. I know maybe what it is because people are like, wow, that's kind of depressing and nihilistic. Yeah, that's my existence and it's not my fault. There's nothing I can do to change this insane group of obsessed losers on the internet who do everything they possibly can to make me look bad every day and just erase anything positive about me. So I don't care anymore. I just don't. There's no, oh, you must play a game at the hardest difficulty. You must, rage at this. It must be stakes when you play. There's no fucking stakes ever. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And you need to stop brainwashing yourself into believing it. That's utter stupidity. You'll do a lot better understanding if you come here just to hang out with me and have a good time. Let's have some social interaction. Let's laugh at the game and my shortcomings, but let's revel in some of the wins. But understand that it's all just jokes and fun, and we just have a good time together. That's what it's supposed to be. We're unplugging from reality to come to a stream, forget about all that drama and bullshit out there. When everyone out there is raging about politics and shit and they're at each other's throats right now, fuck all that. Unplug from that. Come to this channel and just relax and enjoy games. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, oh man, I can't wait to see Phil get his ass whooped the Street Fighter today because he's playing only ranked and he's going to lose all his ranking points. I can't wait to fuck you. Fuck you. Stop changing my content into something it's not. It was never supposed to be that to begin with. Why the fuck did you make it like that? It's drama. You know what it is? Drama. You like drama. What are you, 4? Enough with the fucking drama. Grow the fuck up. When will you grow up? And stop asking for drama every second of your fucking life. Really. It's the only reason any of these idiots have following on the internet is because these idiots are drama. Drama everywhere. Drama when you play games. Drama when you fucking go outside. Drama when you take a shit. Will the turd splash on your ass or not? Drama. Who cares? Unreal. That's exactly right. Ranked is drama. Correct. You want to see drama because I'm playing a ranked match and I lose. Haha, drama. Phil failed. Fuck you. Don't come by anymore. Don't watch the shit. Leave. No one cares about you. Especially me. I'm here to enjoy games for what they are and to have a good positive time with my audience. I'm not here for your dramatic entertainment purposes to satiate your desire for personal failures because it makes you feel better about yourself because you see a streamer rage and fail at a game. You're a loser. All right? I don't care about you. You're a loser. Don't come back. Debo, our first tipper of the day, tipped $2. By the way, I think he got banned again by a mod. He says, when you first ordered Qdoba and you didn't enjoy the food, wouldn't you be upset if the owner of the business blamed you because of their inadequacy? You're responsible for the menu, not us. But the point... What? Let me think about this. Really, I want to think about this for a second. So, the restaurant makes bad food. Outright, the restaurant makes terrible food. Okay? It's awful food, right? It's disgusting. The shrimp is gross. The onions are way overpowering in flavor, right? The guacamole is so bad that it's just gooping and sliding down the plastic. It's obviously revolting. If I eat that, I'm going to get sick, okay? So I go to eat it and I criticize it. And now you're saying that that's the equivalent of Qdoba blaming me. No, that's not at all. That's not what the situation is, stupid. First of all, I paid for the Qdoba. right? Right? I purchased it. I have the right to complain about it if it's bad or whatever, because I purchased something outright and it was a bad product, right? And the quality could even make me sick. It's completely different thing, a transaction versus someone is providing something for free that was requested, okay? And then people don't want it. To correct your analogy, which is so incorrect, this would be the equivalent of Qdoba saying, hey, we're going to give out free food today. What would you like? And everyone said, hey, we want free chicken bowls today. Okay, I'm going to do my absolute best to make you a great chicken bowl. And so I make a great chicken bowl, and I put it out, and no one shows up. Where is everyone? It's free chicken bowl day. You said you wanted chicken bowls. Here's the free chicken bowls. No one came. Where are you? It's not even like you showed up and said, oh, I don't like it. You didn't even show up. The store's empty. That's the equivalent comparison. So nice try, stupid. But no, I'm not. Your comparison is asinine and stupid. You don't even understand what a fucking analogy is. What a dick. And by the way, he's banned again, rightfully so. So we're not unbanning him again. If we see Debo, we're getting rid of him on site. He's an asshole. All right. Anyone else have anything else they'd like to talk about before we adjourn for today? Any other topics or anything to cover? And by the way, I'm just going to say this up front, and I'll say it again when we start with gameplay. Yesterday was a really slow day overall when it comes to support. And I guess it's because I played 2 indie games. It sucks that I have to think that if I play indie games, it's going to be like that. But I guess that's life. Today we got Fallout 4, which is pretty much almost always done pretty decently on stream. We got Street Fighter tonight. Please, guys, support the streams. It would be great. Anything appreciated, whether it's super chats, memberships, tips. You know, everything is good. I would really like to hit the tier 1 tips goals on both streams today because I didn't at all yesterday, not even close. So if you could support the streams today, I really appreciate that to help up for yesterday. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I think we've had a nice long podcast here today. I think it's time to wrap it up so we can jump into Fallout and start relaxing and doing some questing, right? So I want to say thank you to everyone here who enjoyed the show, and I shall return on Friday for an abridged podcast. Just keep in mind, Friday's podcast will be short. I'm going to rush through it so we can get a little bit of gameplay in before the Summer Game Fest React. Okay, so just making that clear. It's going to be a different kind of day on Friday. Thank you all for a great streaming week. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you'll stick around for Fallout, but if not, I wish you the best. Be safe tomorrow. Have some fun away from the live streaming, and I'll be back on Friday with a chaotic week, but hopefully a week that will be full of fun information, right? What we really need right now is some fun information regarding games. So hopefully we get it, right? All right, guys, thank you so much. See you Friday. All righty, my friends. Let's get set up for Fallout. I do have to use the restroom briefly, but it won't be a big deal or anything. Get the console on here. Thank you guys for the support so far. Anyone who did. Again, if we could have a great, solid day of support, hitting the tier 1 tips goal and everything, that would be really helpful. I would really appreciate it after yesterday's very slow day because I played indie games all day. That would be great.
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.